The winter sun barely peeked through the gray clouds as Daniel stirred awake to the sound of muffled coughing from the next room. He rubbed his tired eyes and pulled the thin blanket tighter around his shoulders. The old house had never been warm enough in the winter, but the cold that crept into his bones now had little to do with the weather. It was a weight of grief, the unbearable emptiness that had settled in since his father passed away a month ago. John Carter had been a man of discipline and quiet strength, a retired schoolteacher. He had spent his life shaping young minds, instilling in them the values of honesty and perseverance. But at home, words were not his strong suit. He loved his family. That much was clear, but he had never been the kind of father who showed affection openly. The last conversation Daniel had with him was an argument. It wasn't anything major, just another disagreement about Daniel's decision to pursue photography instead of taking up a stable office job like his father wanted. It had ended with John sighing and shaking his head, the disappointment in his eyes cutting deeper than any words could. And then, just a few days later, he was gone. A sudden heart attack had taken him in his sleep. No goodbyes, no final words, just an unfinished story. That morning, as Daniel made tea for his mother, he found her sitting at the dining table, her frail fingers tracing the edges of an old wooden box. Her eyes were lost in the past, swimming in memories too heavy to speak aloud. "Mom," he asked softly. She blinked, as if pulled back to the present, and then pushed the box toward him. "Your father left this for you," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Daniel hesitated before lifting the lid. Inside, there was a stack of old letters and photographs, but what caught his eye was a single envelope, slightly yellowed with age. His name was written in familiar, shaky handwriting. His heart pounded as he unfolded the letter inside. My dear Daniel, by the time you read this, I may no longer be here. If there's one thing I regret in life, it's not saying the things that mattered when I had the chance. I know I haven't always been the easiest father to talk to. I know I let silence fill the spaces where words should have been. But please know this. I have always been proud of you. Even when I struggled to understand your choices, even when I feared you would fall, I admired your courage to chase your dreams. I wish I had told you this sooner. I wish I had held you a little longer when you were a child, before time stole away those moments. I know we argued the last time we spoke. If I could turn back time, I wouldn't have let you walk away with doubt in your heart. Because, son, I believe in you, more than I ever let on. Take care of your mother. Be kind to yourself. Love fiercely. Forgive easily. And never let a single day pass without telling the people you love how much they mean to you. Even in silence, love never dies. With all my heart, your father. Daniel clutched the letter to his chest as silent tears slid down his face. The weight of unsaid words, of unspoken love, felt a little lighter now. That evening, he sat beside his mother, gently placing his hand over hers. The lines on her face seemed deeper, the grief in her eyes mirroring his own. "I love you, Mom," he whispered. For the first time in a long while, she smiled through her tears and squeezed his hand. And just like that, a new chapter began, one where love was spoken, where moments were cherished, and where silence was no longer mistaken for indifference.